designed by the book. In our last episode, we followed the designers as they met with librarian Jessica Pigza to find inspiration in the library. This week we're back in Brooklyn to see what sort of progress they've made. So come with me and let's see what the artists are up to. Mike Perry came to the library and looked at books on Victorian ghosts, a catalog of fonts from the early 1900s, and a book about outer space from the 1950s. Let's see what he's up to.
I've just been cutting things and moving things and then drawing on things.
Did you have any idea what you wanted to do with the images and the things you were cutting? Did you know immediately where you wanted to move?
No, I knew I wanted to make some sort of book, some sort of like zine thing, and I had my format. I figured it out before I started, and I definitely think like part of my role with some of this stuff is to try to figure out at some point how to make my version of this using the ideas that were initially created. I came up with the title Lost in the Stacks, so that's going to be my title for the piece, and I feel like that's kind of what all this stuff is just the random findings of creative making, you know, like who knows what's happening. My strategy at first was, okay, I'm going to use just things that I have in studio. Like, I have all these stickers. I'm like, I love these stickers, and it's great because, you know, I'm doing this thing black and white, and just for the affordability of it. So I need assets that can like add color. Ta-da! I'm in love with these guys, these little kids that are looking at stuff. I don't know what I'm gonna have them look at yet. I have to figure that out. Hopefully it'll come together. But they're definitely looking at something and they're really excited about whatever it is. So I have to kind of live up to their expectations.
Well, I'm sure you're gonna figure something out. I'm excited to see what you do next.
Definitely.
When Julia Rothman went to the library, she looked at old children's books from the 1950s, vintage wallpaper patterns, and mid-century textiles journals.
When I draw things, I don't really correct them. If they come out wonky, I leave it because I kind of like the way that looks. Even though there's all this stuff I'd asked for, I sort of saw this other book, and that was this book of Navy uniforms and symbols and boats and all different sorts of things. And something about it, like, you know, you never know what you're gonna be inspired by, and that sort of just struck me because there's all these like cute little men in uniforms, and I like men in uniforms, I guess.
Who doesn't?
So I kind of took the guys and arranged them into this crazy pattern. I took like the individual elements and put them in between and then used the ropes to like sort of tie it all together. It's pretty intense. There's a lot of things going on, and that's usually how I like my patterns to be. It's kind of fun to make it up yourself too, because I have this black and white line drawing, and right now I'm just like a child coloring it in like a coloring book. So I don't have to follow any rules.
So are you excited to see how everything turns out?
Yeah, it was really fun. I don't think I would have ever made a Navy pattern if it hadn't been for this library project, for sure.
When Rebecca Cutis was at the library, she explored its collection of old postcards and toured the map room with librarian Matthew Knudsen.
So this is the final plate. And the yellow part is polymer, which is a plastic material, and it has adhesive on the plate.
Oh, okay.
So it sticks to the base while I print. When clients come in to talk about projects or to look at samples, they're often really surprised at what the plates look like. So it's kind of...
So you're not there setting type over type.
Yeah. The gist of my project is going to be based on my conversation with Matt at the library, which was cartography is technically where art meets science. And when you look at early maps, they're so beautiful and artistic. And there's a lot of really, really ornate and elaborate elements to them. But what I wanted to do was to take all the information out of the map and just make it beautiful and inspirational and kind of artsy.
So what are the next steps for you with this process? Are you going to do just this one map, or are you going to do several?
I'm going to probably spend a little bit more time in the library looking at some of the older graphics and images and just see what comes up.
Cool. I'm excited to see what you do next.
Thanks. I'm excited to print them.
Lorena Berezueta was really excited by antique Japanese textile patterns, books on masks from around the world, and international currency design. Let's see what she's working on now.
First thing I started playing with was actually the paper folding, and I kind of stayed with an origami feel to it. So the folds here have measures on them because it's all quite mathematical. So I wanted to come up with a system to make it easier for myself to be able to fold. And then I did a small exercise with the paper folded already in plaster, just to get an idea of what in hard form it might look like or be like.
Cool.
And just creating shadows and stuff, which I absolutely adore, you know. And from that, I'll be able to cast with porcelain slip, the liquid form of porcelain.
So these sort of beautiful origami things are going to end up actually being in porcelain.
Right.
Oh,
right.
great.
So that's this project, and we'll see what comes of it, you know. And then moving on, we have these little people, and they're called milagros in Spanish, but direct translation is a miracle. They're also called ex votos. Folks would create these bodies and would dedicate them to a saint based on, like, please heal my heart or my brain or my breast or my arm. Like, there's all forms of body shapes on this thing. It's very, very interesting, actually. I kind of did my own strange translation of it in porcelain, so I like my fragile take on it. That faith is quite fragile. I really wanted to be true to my research and do stuff that related, but also shows me and my sensibilities, so design sensibilities. So this is it.
John Pomp looked at antique lighting fixtures and books on terrariums. Let's see where he is in the process.
It's important for, I think, designers to have a set idea of or things that a language that you're working within and being inspired by and developing, that you also just kind of have to leave things open just to make sure there's not something that catches you, so you're really open to all sorts of different things or things that you might not expect. So
So is there something that you didn't expect that ended up inspiring you?
Yeah, I guess ultimately I think it was entering the library, I was immediately taken by all the fixtures in the building, and there's some beautiful fixtures that had these beautiful candelabra lamps in them and big clear glass cylinders encasing them. It's really quite amazing, actually.
That's awesome. So it ended up being the library itself that is inspiring your project.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're thinking hanging lighting, tables?
It's a pendant lighting, so we've fabricated some pieces of glass in some neutral grays. So I'm going to go ahead and work off of that, but then juxtapose it with some rectangular framework.
That's great. Well, I'm really excited to see what you do next.
Yeah, me too.
So we'll see you in a few weeks, see what you've got.
Absolutely.
Our next episode will be the final installment of Design by the Book. We'll meet up with the artists one last time to see how they've turned their library research into works of art.